to another episode of Sirens of the Supernatural, your cozy corner for spooky tales. And thank you for tuning in, listeners. We got another great September Spooktacular episode for you tonight. If you've caught our other September shows so far, you know that we've brought you some paranormal investigators, and that was a lot of fun. But tonight, we've got something a little different, exclusively here on Sirens of the Supernatural. Our guests tonight are not paranormal investigators, but they have had their share of experiences with the paranormal, and they're here to tell us all about it. Ryan, I will let you introduce them to our listeners since you know them.
Yes, first off, we're bringing Aleisha, and she has some experiences with some local lodging areas in the Pigeon Forge Sevierville area, along with her daughter Skyler. And I know them personally, and we was talking about the podcast, and then they started telling some different interesting experiences. I enjoyed hearing about some of them, which I haven't got to hear about, and I'm really excited to hear about more. And I know that if I'm excited about it, you guys will too. And I know our listeners, they wouldn't be listening if they didn't like that kind of stuff. So this is something unique. So we're bringing on some actual real life humans, no paranormal investigators, no, no celebrities, anything like that. So, we love everyday people coming on here telling stories, experiences. We love to hear your reader stories. So here we go. So we would like to introduce Aleisha and the daughter Skyler.
Hello.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight. We appreciate you giving a little bit of your time to us.
We're excited because the memories are coming back. We started talking about it last night, and we just had a ball all over again. So we're excited now to do it.
Good. We can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. But first of all, tell us where you're located.
So I'm located in, this happened in Gatlinburg. I'm located in Smoky Mountains here in Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg, and it happened in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Okay.
And I live here too. I'm in Sevierville, which is right next door. But I grew up kind of half in Gatlinburg and half in Pigeon Forge.
Oh, okay. We love that area. Absolutely love it. Well, I know Ryan does because he lives up there, but we love coming to visit that area. And we always did, even growing up. We loved that area. So you were living in the area, and was it, when did you have like your first experience? Was it as a child or?
It was in 2008.
Okay.
Is when this happened. So nothing ever had happened to me in the past. Now, I'd heard my pawpaw one time, and the hair stood up on his arms when he told a story about, he'd never said anything like that before. And I believed him when he told me what happened at his house. He saw a lady in a rocking chair and all that, but he meant it. And I was like, well, I believe it, but that'll never happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it did, big time.
Was it the same house?
Same house.
Okay. Oh, tell us about it.
Okay. So this was in 2008. All right. I remember because I was like, when was that? It was 2008. I remember gas was $4 and something a gallon. I was driving a Suburban all over cleaning cabins. I cleaned cabins for ERA in Gatlinburg. I had 55 cabins. Mm-hmm. So we go to clean this one. And I remember the first time I went in it, and I was like, oh, this is different. And they said, yeah, it's 200 years old. It was like built in the 1800s on Roaring Fork.
Uh-huh.
So basically, if you can imagine it, Roaring Fork, you drive right off of Gatlinburg, you drive up, and one side of the road has houses and neighborhood, and the left side of the road is the water, and then just like enough room for one house up against a bank. Mm-hmm. And they had houses all down that river. So pulled in, you had to cross a bridge to park at the house. And the door was crazy. It was old. It was crazy old. And I was like, man, this is different. So went and cleaned it. And I felt weird, but nothing happened. that I know of, that I paid attention to. Because my mom's always told me, if you feel something like that somewhere, don't condone it because it'll get worse.
Yeah.
But my girl, Skyler, she remembers this. She was with me on this one the second time I cleaned it. It was on the weekend, and the girls, they came and helped me haul that stuff. Because you pick up you put a garbage bag, and it's full. It's one of those big ones. And you bring the laundry in, and, you got all this cleaning stuff, so they'd help me.
Yeah.
Well, Skyler, do you want to tell them what happened that day?
Oh, yeah. So I was like 14, and I had one of my friends with us to help us. And like, I never believed in ghosts. Like, I like the ghost stories. I like watching scary movies, but I never believed in things like that. And so when we got there, the main thing as kids is there was no internet to these cabins. There was no TV. So there wasn't much to do. So we always did the same thing. We would go and read the check-in books. So like, a lot of people don't know what that is now, but it's where they, you have the books and you write about your experience. So me and my friend, we were sitting around and just decided to read. And it was so odd because every single page, I kid you not, every page was a scary story about how haunted this place was. Every one. And this thing was filled, like it was a big journal. And I was just like, what? Someone's messing with us. But it would say things like, I will never come back here again. One day I was upstairs, and it was like a family of 4. They had like 2 kids and then 2 adults, like a mom and a dad. And the dad would just go down the stairs because he kept hearing playing, and he thought it was his kids. And he described going downstairs and the rocking chair rocking by itself. It would move to other sides of the room. He would describe a bouncy ball just would start bouncing, and they never brought a bouncy ball. And so like, it was just every single entry was about how scary this was. So I brought it to my mom, and I said, Mom, something's wrong with this place. It's haunted. Something's wrong with it. And I said, did they tell you it's haunted? And she's like, no, it's not haunted. We just got to clean it and go. And I'm like, Mom, come check out this book. And she said, it was like, no, let's just go clean. How about this? How about you girls go clean the jacuzzi? So
I was already feeling weird, but I didn't want to bring it on. I was like, oh no,
Of course.
So we ran outside to go clean this jacuzzi. And when we went out there, Mom had unhooked it. She always did that. We always unhooked all the phones because there was, hardwired phones back then. We always unhooked all the phones.
Not the phones. She was young. It was the hot tub where you pull it, and the electricity goes off to the hot tub, the breaker.
Right, but we also turned off the phones that were inside the house too. We unplugged those from the wall too, like they were off. Like we made sure they were unplugged, as kids did. So anyway, that's important for later.
Well, no, because the phone was unplugged and it was still ringing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I just wanted to suggest that. Oh, yeah. So anyway, so we went outside the hot tub next, and we're like, okay, we already unplugged the phones. Let's go ahead and start cleaning the hot tub. And the hot tub was on, and everything was unplugged, and we could not figure out what it was. And then we just read all those scary stories. So we're like, something is freaking wrong. So we end up throwing the broom at it and ran and went into Mom and was like, Mom, the jacuzzi's on. It's on. She's like, no, it's not. And I said, it's on.
Because it was off when I pulled it. It was off. And I went out there, and the thing was pulled out of the wall. And I went out there, and it was on.
Yeah.
Promise, it was on. I was like, oh my God, I must have done the wrong thing. See, I'm thinking smart. I'm thinking, oh, I must have pulled the wrong thing. I'm not thinking it yet.
Yeah. And so while we're outside, the phone starts ringing. There's 2 phones. There's one in the living room, and there's one. So like, how this house is set up, there's a front screen and porch. And if you looked at this from the street, the house is long. There's a bridge to get to it. You got to cross this tiny little bridge over this river to get to the house. And it was a long screen and porch, very dark in there, that you had to walk through to get outside. And when you go in the actual cabin, when you walk in, we open the front door. there's a living room, and to the right, there's a small, skinny staircase that goes up to an open concept attic that had one bed and 2 kids' beds. And then if you're down the stairs and you're in the living room, there was a phone there, and we'd already unplugged it. And to the right, there's a little doorway, and there's one bathroom, 1 bedroom, 1 kitchen, and then a big dining area that has like it's like open concept with lighting. So like there was no curtains or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the phone that was ringing was in the living room, and there was another one in the dining room. So we started panicking. We're like, Mom, we need to leave. And she's like, no, it's probably the office calling. And we were like, no, Mom, we unplugged it. It's unplugged. She said, no, it's the office calling. So then we went back in, and I don't remember, did it stop ringing or what happened then?
No, it was ringing. And I said, hello. And it kept ringing while I was holding it. And I was like, this is weird. But the ringing was only there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, it must be the other phone. And I followed the cord, and it was unplugged. I don't remember unplugging it, but that phone, it was unplugged. We were trying to gather our foot last night, but it was. I went to the wall, and it was out, and I was like, what the heck? And then they're like, we got to get out of here. This is crazy. And then I was on board with it. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So I just hurried up and we got out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
well, before we did, you had the incident about your hair.
So that didn't happen that night, Skyler.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So you went back? Went back?
So I cleaned it. We went to the office, and I cleaned it once before and felt weird. Nothing happened. And this time, and the girls, I went back to the office to take all my stuff. And I said, hey, by the way, I hope I didn't do something wrong, because the cabin we were at River Haven, I pulled the thing and it was still on. Mm-hmm. And they both looked at each other. And then I said, and then even crazier, the phone started ringing and it's unplugged from the wall. What is that all about? Uh-huh. And they both looked at each other and they said, oh, well, you don't know about River Haven? And I said, what do you mean? And these girls had just told me it was haunted and all that, but I didn't want to go telling them that.
Yeah.
They said it's known to be haunted. And I said, no, like, oh gosh, I know. And then they go, yeah, there's only a couple people that'll clean it. And I was like, no way. So, I mean, it was crazy. I told the girls that. Well, then
they didn't think to tell you that before you went to clean it.
We had no idea this place was haunted. And something happened that night. Me and my husband were going on a little date in Gatlinburg, and I'd forgotten. I was telling him what happened, and we locked the door. Me and the girls got the keys locked up in the door. Didn't we, Skyler?
Yes.
Didn't we lock the door and couldn't get back in it? And my husband had to come and help us break into it. It was this weird door that had it was just a block that turned and then a string that you pulled. Never seen nothing like it in my life. Yeah. And he got in there and helped me get it. And then I said, y'all got to turn the keys back in the morning. And we didn't go upstairs at all. We didn't even go inside. No, we went inside on the porch because I'd left something. And we went outside. We pulled in at dark, and we came out. And it was still dark, and we started backing up, and the dang light upstairs came on. And I said, oh my God. And I told my husband, I told you this is haunted. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been a couple more months later. I really had maybe a month. Then they said, we got River Haven for you. And I said, nuh-uh, I'm not paying. I'm not going. She said, well, we'll give you some extra for going. And I think she said we was going to give you some extra. But I went down there. I was like, all right. Me and my a lady that cleaned for me, her name's Trish. She's passed away, or I'd have her on this call too. But so we go in there. This is the big thing. We go in there, and I'm already you know. I think that whoever it is, she was waiting on me. She's like, there she is. Whatever the ghost's name was.
Yeah.
We go in and we set our big, huge 39-gallon thing, trash bag, and all the laundry, clean laundry sitting in it. It's standing straight up. We're sitting there, and me and her go into the bathroom, and it's right in the living room, right in the middle of the living room. And all of a sudden, that bag, it looked like someone took only one side of it because it was big and went, and the bag went down. And we were looking at it, and I went, and I was like, the air conditioner vent must be on. It's probably what it is. The vent has come on. There was no vents up. I don't even know how the place had air because I couldn't find them in the floor or the ceiling. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was weird. And then I was like, okay, my heart's beating. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's weird. Probably some air. We go in the bathroom and we're cleaning. It's all tile shower. And she gets in there, the shower, and I'm doing washcloths and stuff. And she goes, the water came on. Just it came on and got on her. She goes, ah! And the water came on. And I was like, oh my God, the water's on. And it came off. And I said, well, this is even crazy, but it could be water in the lines, Trish. Sometimes there's air in the line, not water. Yeah. There's air in the lines, and it'll just, come out. That's probably what it was. Mm-hmm. And my heart's beating right now. This is crazy. Okay. Then I was like, I'm going to I told her I was leaving. She goes, no, we have to finish. We have to finish. And after that, it just got worse. I said, no, I'm leaving. I don't care. Because we have to finish. We'll get it done. It's not really dirty. We'll get it done, you know. It's not real dirty. We'll pretend we cleaned it something. So then the bedroom. So here's this bathroom and the living room where the bag went. And then there's this little bedroom. So I go into the bedroom, and when I walk in the bedroom, I walk in, and there's a mirror on the other side of the wall, and I could see myself in it walking in. I go in, and I felt like a freezing cold thing that went all through my body, and I saw a black thing go behind me, and I felt it against me, and then I knew this was real. No, I didn't. I said, oh, that's my own shadow. That's my own shadow. And I was doing this, and it was not my own shadow because it was not. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Trish, come in the bedroom. She goes, what? And I didn't want to say, the freaking ghost is in here. Get in here now. I just said, well, come help me with the bed because I still can't condone it, Right. And she goes, okay. She comes in there, and I'm doing a pillowcase. I literally am just sitting there and I'm being calm, but it's crazy. I feel it. Something goes like not real hard, but right here. And then me and Trish look up, and I had long blonde hair, and my hair was standing all the way up to here, this one piece. And it was being held up in the air and not moving down. And I looked up, and she looked up, and I went, oh my God, do you see that? Do you see that? And she goes, yeah. And I just ran out of there and screamed and left, and I would never go back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh no, one more thing happened. I forgot. We started to leave. She goes, wait, we got to check upstairs, Aleisha. What if somebody slept upstairs? I was like, oh my God, that place is scary anyways, because you go up there and it's just an A-frame little thing. And I go up there and I'm like, oh yeah, nobody slept up here. Let me check the bathroom, see if anybody used is that a little bathroom? I was in there looking, and the door frame to the end of the bedroom was right here. And when I set my head up to come out, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't see it. I saw something went boo right at my face. Like it was just in my face,
right in your face.
But it didn't make a noise. And I went, and then that's when I got the heck out of there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Sounds like y'all were in a hurry, and I would have been too, probably.
Yeah.
And last night when we were talking about all this, it gets crazier actually. Something happened this morning. So we talked about this. We talked about this last night, and I said, "Man, this is crazy. I've not thought about that place. Like, but I don't remember things well, but I remember that place. I remember the name. I know exactly what it looks like. I can see it today. Like, that's so crazy." And I said, I brought this up to friends years ago, and we tried to find pictures of the place, and we couldn't find it. So mom did a bunch of digging, and I went to bed, and I woke up. Mom was asleep super early. And I seen everything that she had texted me, and it was a
I
bunch of
found
links.
a picture of it.
First off, in it, she gave me the picture, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the picture! That's the only picture I've ever seen. Like, I've looked everywhere and can't find it, and Mom found it." Well, the other thing she had sent me was the owner had made a comment. It said like 16 years ago. It said, "Hey, I bought this." He had posted it in a forum for other like owners in the area. To ask advice. And he had said, "Hey, I bought this in 2010. So keep in mind, we did this in 2008 is when we first went to this place." He said, "I did this in 2010. I don't believe in ghosts. I never have. But there's constantly entries in this book that we keep. Every time we put a new one, there's new entries." And said, "I just need advice from you all. Do I need to disclose that this place is haunted? I don't think I should, but my wife does." So he created this whole thing. So then I was like, I'm going to keep looking into it. And then I found a bunch of videos. And basically it said that there was like a big story with the Roaring Fork Road Motor Trail in Gatlinburg. There was this thing that they used to say is that there was a ghost named Lucy. And it's actually that trail. I found out too, doing research and stuff. I found out that trail is actually one of the most haunted trails in the United States. And we didn't know that. And so what had happened was supposedly Lucy lived in the cabin on the land that was before the River Haven. So if you think about that one stood for 200 years, supposedly she was in the house prior, like the other one. And what happened was it burnt down and she was inside of it and died. And like apparently she's like well known. I never heard the story before. So then in 2017, the Gatlinburg fires happened. So River Haven burnt down. And I remember when I first was in the fires, my weird first thought was, I wonder if that haunted place did it or something. Like that was my first thought. I don't know why. But I was like, I don't know. But then I was thinking when I was looking into it last night, I was like, I wonder if there's got to be files, right? Because there's public records, fire safety stuff. And I said, there's got to be something that mentions this Lucy girl. So then I looked into it and it said prior to the 200 years ago, however long it was when it stood, there was records at a local courthouse of the fire safety and stuff in the area. Well, coincidentally, it burnt down. So there's no evidence.
The courthouse burnt down.
Yes.
With the
so
records.
This lady, so that burned down, then this burnt down. It was so crazy. So then before I gave up on the whole looking into it, I was looking at the picture and I said, look, if there's this haunted girl, there has to be some evidence. This is the only picture. If there was somebody outside taking a picture and I was a ghost, I would show up somewhere, right? So I start looking into this picture and I see the craziest thing. And I call Mom crying. I said, Mom, she's in the picture. She said, what? I said, she is in the picture. And in the picture, I have it.
We'll have to send it all to you.
Oh, yeah. In the picture, it's the only picture that has of it. You can see the dining room. The only one, it has that light on. It's on. No others is on. And if you zoom in, you can see a woman. And it looks like she's peering through the window, but it's black hair in a white, big, billowed gown. And I showed it to multiple people, and they said, oh, my gosh, that's creepy. I see it. You're not crazy. And it was, so you can
1997, right?
Oh, yeah. So then
1997.
Oh, yeah, listen to this. So then after that happened, I kept digging more. I said, I wonder if there's a YouTube video on it. And there was a YouTube video about the whole trail. And someone commented on it, and they said the craziest thing, and I screenshot it to Mom. They said, I seen Lucy in 1997. She had dark, long black hair and a white billowing gown.
Ooh,
Crazy, crazy stuff.
that is. Oh, y'all got to send us that picture.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we got articles. We found there's articles on it too that we screenshotted. What all was it? I don't know if I can look at it while I'm on here. Can y'all still see me?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was one so the owner who posted it, he
Right
said that
here. Right here.
well, he said after 2017, he rebuilt it. There's a new cabin there.
Oh.
And he said that he rebuilt it. It was after the fires happened, he built a brand new thing, and he thought that that would just end the whole commotion. Well, apparently now they've been writing again that there's still hauntings happening, even though it's a brand new place. So you can rent it
Yeah.
to this day. I would never, but you can.
Ooh,
So maybe that's a place that we need to go check out and
we
maybe
need to
do an overnight.
investigate.
It
That
looks
would be
nice,
really
but
cool.
I would never.
We're just crazy enough to do it.
Hey, if you were going to get it anywhere, that's the place. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's weird because we hear that a lot, that hauntings are often tied to a location, maybe the land or something like that, especially if something tragic has happened there. And so it doesn't matter how many structures are built on it, it's still going to have activity. And that makes perfect sense. But I was going to ask you, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you was, is there something there now, a house there now that you can
There they are.
Okay.
But yeah, there is, and you can rent it. And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, people are staying here! I can't believe it! Like that's crazy." They even rebuilt the bridge, and
Oh,
it's so it's really weird. But yeah, he said that he's still having issues, and it's funny too. In the forums I found his email and his phone number, and I was like, I really want to email him, but I don't. So
You can send that to us,
yeah, we can
and
email.
oh yeah,
I
We'll
would.
see
I mean,
it.
I would probably. I mean, if I can get off work, I might go stay there, and it'd be interesting. Because I mean, I don't. I mean, I've done worse things. Stayed worse places.
now,
So
one of the things, if you do, one of the things I've seen on YouTube about it is she supposedly comes out when it's foggier outside. That's apparently the best time to see her. I don't know when we did it. I think it was a summer. So she came out obviously freely. So, but that's what they say.
People said
okay,
that
yeah.
they went to dinner. They went out and had dinner, and they came home, and their dishes were dirty, and they went to bed. And the next morning, they woke up and they were all clean and on the table, and the table was set.
Oh,
That's
But
what somebody said in one of the forums.
uh-huh. Wow.
that. Don't be telling that because there'd be a lot of people coming trying to take that ghost home with them.
God, what?
I said, don't be telling people that. They'll be trying to take that ghost home with them. They got a free ghost house cleaner.
Yeah, she cleaned. But then one person said everything we cooked, which they might not have been good cooks, they said everything we cooked, something made us burn our food. Everything we cooked just burnt. So I thought,
Yeah.
well, they probably didn't know how to cook, but now I don't know.
I
You
know
know,
because it seems like there's a lot that's a thread running through this, right? Burning and fire and all of that
it's,
stuff. So
I
if
wonder.
Ryan hadn't asked you guys to be on the show, you wouldn't have like done a deep dive and found out this other new information.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
cool. Yeah, we've had fun pulling a few things up, but
And
the reason why I thought I can pull it up because in 2010 I saw top and I couldn't find it, so maybe I just remembered it wrong. I literally read something that said it was one of the top 10 haunted places in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
There's like a plantation close to my house now that's in that. Y'all probably already know about that on Boyd's Creek
I don't,
in
but Ryan.
Sevierville. Oh yeah, top 10 haunted places. It was a plantation down here by Dollar
I've been there.
General.
Oh, okay.
Historic house.
Uh-huh.
But that was listed on there, but I couldn't find it. So I may have remembered it wrong, but I found all this other stuff.
Right.
So,
And we hadn't talked about it, by the way, since 2008. We never mentioned it, me and Mom.
Really?
So
You just
when we
never
talked about it, I
Yeah.
said, Mom, I've talked about this a couple times throughout the years, but I think a part of me thought I made it up in my head. And I said,
Uh,
is it real? Did that really happen? She said, yes, that really happened.
She was like, I remember the phone. And I was like, yep, that was it. That was it. She goes, I remember that. I go, yeah. And she was like, I remember this. I was like, I don't know. And then, so it was a long time ago.
yeah. That's so interesting. And it's fun to think that, well, not fun, but it's neat to think that you don't have to go spend a lot of money to go to a big, haunted location that's well known, when there's places like this that, not a lot of people know about, and you may get even more activity, at a place like that than you would at
Mhm.
somewhere that's crowded with a bunch of people coming in all the time.
Yeah.
So Ryan, we gotta stay there.
My theory with Mom, I think she's a nice ghost. Everyone thinks
Uh-huh.
she's nice. She just more like moves things around, like cleaning, I guess, playing kind of thing. So I think
Yeah.
she's nice. I think the reason why she did it to Mom, because clearly when Mom was telling the story, she was like, look, I'm right here. I think that's why she ended up picking up her hair. She said, quit sitting there saying I'm not real. I'm sitting right here.
Yeah,
Well,
because you were trying to be logical about everything and explain
yeah.
it
Well,
away.
when I ran out, I said, she goes, it's fine. You're fine. I said, she smacked me in the head. And she goes, at least I think she thought your hair was pretty. She was probably just looking at it. And I was like, whatever.
That's so wild though that you felt the chill in the air. You
Oh,
felt
I
uh,
saw it.
you
Oh,
could
yeah.
feel your yeah, and that
Mhm.
and a physical touch, like
Yep.
that is really wild. But did you feel, other than scared, did you feel like it meant you harm, or you just were so shocked you didn't think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it was like it was all over me, whatever it was when it was there. It was all over
Yeah.
me. It was
Mm.
right here. Like it was just all on me.
Uh-huh.
That's just what it kind of feels like. Like it's there, it's right here, and that's a scary feeling, They say there's different dimensions and stuff. Maybe
Hmm.
there's different dimensions, and some of them are, some of them's been gone a longer. She was been gone a long time, so she's probably
Yeah.
just got a lot of practice.
Well, and two, they say that some people are more sensitive to, the
Yeah.
spiritual realm. And
Oh,
maybe, have you ever had anybody tell you that you're kind of more sensitive? Maybe she was more
mhm.
drawn to you.
Yeah.
Mom always has the crazy stuff happen to her, so I feel like if anybody, it would be her for sure.
Yeah.
That would I just remember feeling really scared. Like as soon as I walked in, it just felt like off. And so
Yeah.
it was weird when we started reading it. It was like I wasn't surprised, but then I was. I was like, "Oh, are they playing tricks on people?" That was my first thought. This
Hmm.
book can't be real. But
Yeah.
then it's you can't ignore what happened, and you can't ignore all the different handwritings, how long it would have took somebody to play such a trick. So
Right. Well, you said you felt off, and that's what your mom said when she went in there the first time too. She just felt a weird vibe. She felt like something was off, uncomfortable. Maybe you've inherited some of that sensitivity that she has. Do you like scary things, and like your mom said she likes scary movies and things like that. Do you ever um try to explore the paranormal or anything?
well, I'd never experienced anything like that. I mean, I used to watch scary movies when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Now that I'm older, I realize some of that stuff can actually happen, so I kinda
Yeah.
don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, gotcha.
But, yeah, I don't know. Nothing had happened like that ever. So,
Since then, yeah,
yeah.
wow. Okay. Alicia, have you had, we lost you for a minute there, but you're back. Have you had any experiences after that one?
Yeah. I've seen Skyler's dad that passed away, or it's like he gave me, it was right here. There's a light
Wow.
in my kitchen. See
Uh-huh.
that light? I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see it. It's got three bulbs.
Uh-huh.
So Skyler and my son's dad, they passed away. 2017 was it
Hmm.
Skyler?
2016.
2016, and I remember coming home from the funeral and I was like, oh my gosh, how do I help the kids get over this? Because
Yeah.
we watched him, they were there with him. They went, they went and stayed with him and was in and out of the hospital. And they watched old movies together growing up. And he got saved. He got baptized. And
Hmm.
so it was just a really emotional thing watching it
Sure.
happen. And I was sitting right here at this table and I came home and it was quiet in here, and I said, Ron, what do I do? What do I say? What do I do?
Hmm.
The second that happened, one of those lights went completely out. Just one of them, and it went completely gone. And then it it came back. So I thought, oh, I thought that was tricky, but the light's going to go out. I've never changed it. It's always been back on.
I've
Oh
had issues like
wow.
that too. I take that back. She's right. I completely forgot about the dad thing. I had a crazy experience too with that, actually. Real crazy.
Okay.
I was in a recent like really bad knee injury, and it was like a freak situation that happened, but I ended up having to relearn how to walk. Like it was
Mhm.
really traumatizing, and I still like have issues to this day. And I remember when I was doing physical therapy, there was a chance because of how bad my thing was. There was a chance I could need an amputation if I had
Ooh.
necrosis. There was like I don't know. There was a chance I wasn't going to be able to walk for 6 months. That was the original thing. I was not going to be able to walk for 6 months. And in the place, it's local to where I'm at in Alabama. My dad was like a huge classic rock guy. He only listened
Mhm.
to classic rock ever. So at
Mhm.
times I'd hear classic rock come on. Well, during that time, every day at my physical therapy, they played Christian live. It was all Christian live music. That was all they
Mhm.
played. And I remember the first day where just felt so defeated, and I was sitting there and I hadn't really cried in front of people about it, but I was feeling very emotional. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to walk again, all that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, my dad's song came on, and it was "Sweet Child of Mine." He used to sing
Oh.
that to me when I was a kid. And so when it came on, I looked at the lady and I said, "I'm gonna walk today." And she was like, "I don't know if you could do it." And I said, "I'm gonna walk today." And I did. And I
Uh-huh.
walked. And it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like encouragement from your dad through music.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "How is that on?" Like, 'cause it
Yeah.
only played Christian Live. It didn't play Leonard Skinner. So
Right.
it was odd.
Right.
Skylar,
Guns N'
so
Roses and
Skylar has the bigger story than I do, but it's not about ghosts, but it kind of is with her dad.
Uh-huh.
They visited after he died. It's a long story. We might could tell that another time.
Okay.
But
Wow.
it's even bigger
Wow.
on the
Well,
spectrum.
it sounds like it sounds like y'all have overcome some major obstacles in life too. I mean, losing loved ones and then a scholar with your injury. Are you healed and everything now and doing well?
I'm healed. There was like a couple scares, but I'm way better than I was. I surpassed what they thought I could. I have issues. I can't like I'm 30 years old and I have to have a disability tag. I don't do stairs well. I
Yeah.
have fallen downstairs, but I'm better than I thought I ever could be. So that's good.
Good. We're glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And yeah, we would love to have you guys on again if you would want. And if we do come and explore that house and property, um, I mean, you guys don't have to spend the night, but you're welcome to come out there for a little while and attract some ghosts for us.
Oh God.
But we would, yeah, we're actually really interested in that location now. I had not heard this story or any of the story about Lucy and the trail and the house. And yeah, it really sounds like a lesser known place that might be right up our alley. So we appreciate y'all joining us and talking to us about it and telling us about your experiences there. That's really wild stuff. When she said she walked into the bedroom and the mirror was over there, I thought, oh, here we go. I hate a creepy mirror. Hate a creepy mirror. And then she saw something behind her that is just, oh, it creeped me out. Um, did you hear what I said, Alicia, about the mirror?
Well, you
When,
stopped when I said that. It creeped you
yeah, I
out.
was like, oh gosh, here we go with the mirror. But a lot of people, or some of the paranormal investigators that we have interviewed on the show, say
Mhm.
that they actually use mirrors to connect with and communicate with spirits, and that's pretty wild.
I have some crazy pictures because I have a big mirror in my room. It's bigger than me, taller than me, bigger. And I have pictures, and you can see looks like ghosts flying around above me.
Oh,
And I mean, now that you start bringing this up, I'm like, oh man, we kind of got a lot of things we could talk about.
it
Uh,
really does sound like you are like a magnet for.
I I have one where there's beams coming out my eye. It was just a regular picture, and I
Yeah,
tried to blame it on. Now I have to dig that up too, but I've got it.
yeah,
It's just perfect beams shooting out of my eyes, and I'm like, I'm not looking at a
yeah,
window or nothing.
or anything. Like you're some kind of superhero.
It's crazy. In my
That is,
dreams, when I dream crazy dreams and I have to get away from the bad guys, I always get to the door and they're chasing me. And then right at the end, I just start flying. And everybody's like, oh my God, how did you do that? I just start, and it looked awkward. I flap my arms and everything and I fly away.
I love it.
Yeah,
Love that.
I fly everywhere. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll go, man, I went everywhere yesterday. I
You must be
remember
tired
a lot
when you
my
wake.
dreams. Yeah.
Oh man. So in your house that you're in now, Alicia, you've only had that one experience with the light, and after Skylar's
No,
father passed.
no, I've had more. I've had. I saw him. It was like he came. And it's when they die. It's when he died in March.
Yeah.
March, right? Skylar, March or May? It's
In May
March.
2016.
May. So that month is a real. That month is like I feel, and I want him to be trying to. But maybe it's my subconscious knows it's that month.
Yeah.
There's only one. There's a thing that bothers me every day. So when I go downstairs down here,
Uh,
and I try to think, oh, it's just dark in that corner. Every time I go down my stairs and I go around the stairs at the bottom, there's a black something, there's something there, and it's there all the time. It's like a shadow there, and
yeah.
I look at it again and I just see a dark corner, but I
Yeah.
see it and I want to be thinking about it. And
Hmm.
then this is even kind of weirder. I mean, I can't prove it, but I'll go up the stairs in here and I feel something behind me. I just know it's there. It's that feeling, and I just kind of hurry up.
Yeah. Do
But I
you live
like,
alone?
yeah.
You do.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, you have a great attitude. The more we talk, the more interesting it gets.
One time I took a walk and I was coming back,
Hmm.
and I was coming back, and because there's a fire hydrant way down, that my property goes to this fire hydrant.
Hmm.
So it's like three lots, kind of about as big as three lots. So I go down there and I'm walking back, and the neighbors, I guess, had their light on, their porch light, and I could see my shadow. I could see me walking, and then
Yeah.
a big one come behind me and was there, and I went, and I felt that feeling again, and I just, oh my God, that was, I felt that almost more than that other one.
Hmm.
So I
Wow.
think really kind of I do have a lot of things that happened. Now that I
Yeah.
think of it,
And I think you're sensitive to what's going on around you. That, they say there's a lot going on around us that we can't even see.
yeah,
Um, it sounds like, yeah, maybe people who are more sensitive to that realm, the spirits are drawn to them because they want somebody to know they're there. Maybe they don't mean to scare you, but
yeah,
they want somebody to know, hey, I'm here. And not everybody has that sensitivity or could feel them or know that. So that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's really interesting. Well, if you have any, if you have anything that happens to you, in the future, we'd love to hear about it. Just shoot us an email, or tell
Yeah.
Ryan about it. Do you guys see each other very often? You and
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah. Yeah. We see each other a lot.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm so glad that he knew you and suggested you for the show, you and Skyler, because this has been really interesting. I think our listeners are really going to enjoy it because, I mean, it's one thing when a paranormal investigator comes on the show, but when just your neighbor down the street comes on the show and doesn't have anything to gain by telling their story, they're just doing it because they want people to hear it. We can relate to that. We can really relate to that. So, um, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us and sharing your stories. And listeners, if you'd like to reach out and let us know how you enjoyed this episode, please comment on our YouTube or on our socials, or you can email us too at sirensofthesupernatural@gmail.com. And in case you hadn't heard, we're collecting spooky listener tales for our Creeptober story contest, and we want your story. So don't delay. Send us your scare. We'll share it on the air, and it could win you some cool Sirens merch and even a guest spot on the show. Again, that's sirensofthesupernatural@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Sirens of the Supernatural, and over on TikTok, we're at Supernatural Sirens. So until next time, we will say goodbye to our special guests, Aleisha and Skyler. Thank you again. And Ryan, thanks for being here. Lindsay will be back with us next time. We'll see you guys. Stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.